I'm here with my June book haul. I have 17 books to show you today, and a couple of them are bind-ups, so I actually have 23 books, but 17, you know what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to start with the books that I ordered off of Book Outlet. Now these aren't all from the same order because I did have a couple of $5 off coupons. The first book I have is As You Wish. Inconceivable Tales from the Making of the Princess Bride by Carrie Ells with Joe Layden, foreword by Rob Reiner. And I loved The Princess Bride growing up. I watched the movie several times. I usually watch it at least once a year. And whenever I was in high school, my parents bought me the book. And for those of you who haven't read The Princess Bride, but you've seen the movie, the book is pretty much exactly like the movie. There's just a couple of things that are different in it. And I saw this. I really wanted this for Christmas, but nobody got it for me for Christmas, so I had to get it for myself. And I found this on Book Outlet, and I had a $5 off coupon, and I couldn't stop myself. I had to have it. The next book I have is actually a similar thing with the Princess Bride As You Wish book, and that is The Crow Special Edition by James O'Barr. And I love the Crow movie. I actually spent an entire summer watching it on repeat on VHS for the entire summer. And me and my sister can quote almost every single line of the movie. And I've been trying to get the individual Crow books, and I have... Oh, by the way, this is comic or graphic novel. I think it was called a comic when it came out, but I think it would possibly be called a graphic novel now. But anyway, I've been trying to get the books for this, and I have 2 of them. And then I found this bind-up of the entire story on Book Outlet, and again, I had a $5 off coupon, and so I had to get it. The next 4 books were actually all in one order. I had a couple of sale books that I wanted to get, and you cannot use a coupon whenever you get books that are on sale when you get on Book Outlet. So I picked up just an order that had a few books that were sale books and a few books that I just really wanted whether I had a coupon or not. And the first one is Ashes to Ashes by Jenny Han and Saban Vivian. And this is the 3rd book in the Burn for Burn series or trilogy. I know there's 3 books out, but I don't know if it's a series or a trilogy, if this is the last one or not. I have the first 2, and I read To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and I really liked it, and since I already had the first 2 and I saw this on Book Outlet, I figured I better pick it up before it disappeared. And the book that started this Book Outlet order is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. And I have been wanting to get this book, and I just got an email saying, hey, look at the new books that came out on Book Outlet today, and this was one of them. So I went onto the site, and they actually only had the 1 copy, and I made the order hoping that this copy would still be there whenever I got my order put through, and it did. So I'm excited. I've been wanting to read this for a while. I just have been putting off picking it up because there's other books that I wanted to get. But it was on Book Outlet and it was really cheap, so I got it. The next book I've seen a few booktubers haul, and I haven't really heard anybody talking about it. I know that they've all hauled it, but I don't know much about like it as a book. but it was only 99 cents, so 99 cents with the like 50 cents shipping, $1.50. I was gonna pick it up anyway. And that is Far, Far Away by Tom McNeill. And this book is actually really interesting, or at least how it's designed is. Like the cover, if you haven't seen before, the slip jacket is clear, and mine is, can you see that? Folded the wrong way. So I can't read my synopsis without taking the slip jacket off of the book. But I thought it was pretty cool, and it was only $1.50 after shipping, so yeah. Now the next book, I've been watching a lot of booktube videos from the Peruse Project, or Reagan from the Peruse Project, and she's talked about this book a lot, and I found it on sale for $2.99 on the book outlet, and it is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And she raved about this, and I know that there's a second book out in this series already, and I don't know, it was on book outlet for really cheap, and I've heard a lot of good things about it from Reagan in the Peruse Project. So, not the Peruse Project, just Peruse Project. And I don't know, I just wanted to check it out and see if I enjoyed it as much as she did. Now for the one book that I actually picked up, I wouldn't say a bookstore because my town only has Walmart. We don't even have a bookstore at all. But I picked up The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy by Jenny Han. And it has The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer. And my Walmart had this bind up, and I've been wanting to get these books. I've heard a lot about The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. There's a lot of booktubers that really enjoyed this series. Trilogy. Blech. I had never seen it before, and my local Walmart got this, and so I decided to pick it up. I did buy one book off of eBay this month, and that is Blankets by Craig Thompson, and I've heard a lot of people talking about this, and right now it's really expensive online, like crazy expensive. But this is a graphic novel, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I finally looked into picking it up, and it was crazy expensive, so I ended up picking it up off of eBay. So the next books I got were from Thrift Books, and there was one book in particular that I really wanted to get, and they have, if your order is over $10, then you get free shipping. So I had to add the other two books so I could get free shipping. The book that I was really interested in getting is Between the Lines by Jodi Nicole. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. And Samantha Van Leer. And Off the Page just came out at the beginning of the month, end of May, and that is the Booksplosion Book of the Month. And I heard a lot of people saying that they tried reading it, but whenever they were reading it, they didn't get as into it as they thought they should because they hadn't read Between the Lines first. So I wanted to read Between the Lines before I picked up Off the Page. The next book I have is The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater, and I've heard a lot of good things about this. It's about these horses that come out of the sea, and they have races, and that's about all I know, but it's Maggie Stiefvater, and I've heard several good things about it, and I've just been trying to get her books, so I saw this on there and I decided to pick it up. The next one is The Replacements by Brenna Yovanov, and I heard about this before, and I don't remember exactly what it was about, but I remember that whenever I heard about it, I really wanted to read it, and so I looked it up on thrift books and they had a copy, and so I added it to my order since I needed just a little bit more to get the order over $10 so I could get the free shipping. The next books I have are books that I purchased through some used bookstores in a larger town nearby. The first one is Rebel Angels by Libba Bray. This is the second book in the, let's see, it says it's a companion to A Great and Terrible Beauty, but I know it's the second book and it's a trilogy, I think. I found the first two books and I hadn't been able to find this one, and I wanted to get this before I started reading them. I've heard pretty good things about it. I don't know, I just found it and I decided to pick it up. The next book I have I'm really excited about, and that is The Moon and More by Sarah Dessen. And this is actually the only Sarah Dessen book that I do not or did not currently own. And oh, my receipt's falling out. So I was excited to find this book at a used bookstore because this is actually really new, newly released in paperback, and it was only $4.99. So yeah, I had to pick it up. The next two books I got with book credits at this used bookstore that I actually have a ton of credits at because I traded in a large number of books, and for some reason they gave me book for book credits. So they gave me a credit for every single book that I brought in, which actually isn't their policy. It's supposed to be 1 credit for every 2 books. But I have a ton of credits there, so these 2 books were free. First one is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, and I read the back of this while I was in the bookstore and it sounded really interesting. It has a cemetery of forgotten books, and I don't know, it sounded so interesting, and I had free credits, so it was a free book essentially, or whatever the cost of books that I turned in were, I guess, but essentially a free book, and it sounded interesting. And I know it's part of the series. It's the first book in a series, and I don't remember how many books there are in it, but I figured I'd just pick this up and see if I liked it, and then continue on with the series if I enjoy it. The next book, I'm probably going to butcher these authors' names, and that is MRF, or Male or Female, and it's a novel by Lisa Papadimitriou and Chris Tebbets. I don't know. Did you read those? It's a long last name. But this is about a girl who likes a guy, and she ends up talking to him through instant messenger. But it's not really her talking to him, it's her gay best friend. And she can't seem to talk to him on her own, but she can tell him what to say, and they talk all the time. But he's talking like he is her. So whenever they are talking to this guy online, he asks M or F, or male or female. And there's a little thing on the back, well, on the front flap. There's a little thing with a joke on what they should answer, because she's female and she's the one that's doing the talking, but he's male and he's the one that's actually typing it out in the instant messaging. So it sounded fun, and it didn't get very high ratings on Goodreads. It's like 3.5 or 3 point something stars on Goodreads, so it's not a very high rating on Goodreads. But I had free book credits, so I got it for free, and I figured I'd try it out. I haven't read very many books that have the diversity of having a gay character in it, or I guess this is more of a gay main character. He's one of the main characters, I'm guessing. So that intrigued me, and that's why I got it, even though it kind of had a low rating on Goodreads. The next two books are the other two bind-ups that I have, and they have 3 books each in them. And I've mentioned in previous videos how I'm trying to repurchase the Xanth series in hardcover, because most of the books that I have are paperback, but most of the newer books you can only really get in hardcover in a nice quality. And so I've been trying to find the really old ones, which are horrible to try to find because they were written in the late 70s, like 79 I think is when the series was started. And I actually could not find a hardcover copy of the first book anywhere. Like anywhere. I looked on Goodreads and I didn't even see a thing for a hardcover copy of the book. It's like, it's that bad. That first book is A Spell for Chameleon, and the second book is The Source of Magic, and the third book is Castle Rugna. And I finally found The Magic of Xanth by Piers Anthony, and this is actually called something different whenever you look it up on Goodreads. But this is a bind-up of the first 3 books. Like I said, I couldn't find the first book in hardcover at all, and I could find the second and the third book, but I couldn't find the first book. And I finally found this bind-up, and oh, I'm so happy. I was so worried that I'd get the entire series in hardcover, and I ended up not having a hardcover the first one and just having the little mass market paperback, and I was gonna cry. And I finally found this, and oh, I love it. Makes me want to reread the series. The next one is The Continuing Xanth Saga, a new collection of 3 complete novels by Piers Anthony. And this has books 4, 5, and 6. It has Centaur Isle, Ogre, and Nightmare. So now I have the first 6 books in hardcover, and I am so excited. I am actually really excited that I found bind-up editions. As far as I know, there's only bind-up editions of the first 6 books, like the first 3 and then the second 3. And then there is a book called Xanth by 2 that has 2 of the novels from way down in the series in it. As far as I know, after this second bind-up, there's not any more bind-ups until like that one further along in the series. And I already have one of those books in hardcover, so I don't want to get the bind-up. But I'm starting to get my Xanth books in really nice, pretty editions, and I am so happy. Okay, now I get to try to lift these, right? Okay, I guess I will. Okay, now time to try to lift these. I have them in 2 stacks. Can you see them all? There. Kind of, maybe, almost. There, that's better. I wish I was able to actually stand up and film, because that would make things a little easier, I guess. But I don't have anywhere that I can stand up and film, so. Well, that's all I have for this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Now, for the thumbnail. It is so much harder to lift backwards. Okay. Thank you. Okay, you're done now? You done following?